Good morning, dear colleague. Good morning. Today our lecture about sensory processing, sensation and perception. I am Professor Alexander Dvirsky. Today our lecture about sensory processing, sensations and perception process. I am Professor Alexander Dvirsky, Psychiatry and Psychology Department. Introductions. Now we learn psychology, and you remember psychology is a science of behavior and mental process. Behavior and mental process, it's a two main category which we use in psychology. Behavior, it's an objective, and mental process is a subjective. Behavior objective for examiner, and mental process subjective for examiners, and objective for person which feel this mental process. What does mean mental process? Mental process is something like emotions, thinking, when you remember about something, dreaming about something. It's a mental process. Mental process, it's like an internal mechanic of our brain which create behavior. And what does mean behavior? Behavior, it's something which influence to environment. Behavior, it's our reply to the external influence. Behavior, it's a reply to the internal influence. What does mean internal influence? For example, pain. For example, hunger, thirsty feelings. Everything's modify our behavior. Due modification of behavior, we try to survive in the environment. In general, main target of our nerve systems is create behavior. But for what purpose we need behavior? We need behavior because we need surviving into the environment. And our behavior not exist in the vacuum. Because our behavior is a result of a lot of mental process. We have a lot of difficult mental process, which after some times we register like a behavior. Behavior, it's a result. Clear? It's a result. Mental process, it's like an engine in car. Okay. What factors influence to our behavior? It's a mental process. It's a process which happen in reality, in the physical worlds. And what internal process? It's clear. It's our brain feels what's happy with him. But what talk about reality? And informations about reality and informations about physiological process which persist in our body, which happen in our body, we register via sensations and perception process. Clear? Our sensations and perceptions process, it's a bridge between real worlds, and it's a bridge between mental process and real worlds. Yes, of course, perceptions and sensations, it's a mental process, but this mental process has serious connections with reality, because it's something which reflects reality in our nerve systems. Sensory processing divided to the two classes. First, it's two type. It's sensations and perceptions. But in everyday English, yes, of course, we use terms perceptions. But you must remember that in perceptions, it's only one stage of the sensory processing. Persist more simple stage which has named sensations. Perceptions, it's a more difficult stage which include our cognitive ability. Sensations. What does mean sensations? Sensations are detections of the elementary properties of stimulus, such as brightness, colors, warmth, and sweetness, maybe surface, landscape surface, and something like this. Now I try to explain for you what does it mean sensations. Sensations, it's a stream of data into the CNS, in the central nervous systems. Sensations, it's only data. It's like it's electricity in the cable. Clear? For example, you has I don't know, you has a cable with internet which attaching to your routers. It's a sensations. Clear? Because it's electricity impulses which create informations, which has informations. And when you open web page, when you see webinar, it's like a content. It's like a content in your consciousness. It's like a content. It's like a perceptions, because you understand what does it mean, those impulses. Clear? I repeat once more. Sensations, it's the detection elementary properties of signals. Sensations, it's like a kind of activity, special area of the brain which responsibility for the some sensory channel, for the some modality. Now I use terms modality. What does mean modality? Visual modality, auditory modality, tactility modality, olfactory modality, gustatory modality. Clear? Different modalities mean different sensory channel. Yes, of course, different sensory channel, it's a different energy. But in the brain, in the nerve systems, informations, it's only impulses. Impulses in the nerve systems has a same electricity parameters, same voltage, and very same ratio. Clear? It's mean light and sound after contact with receptors transferring to the impulses. Impulses which generate sound and impulses which generate eyes has a very same parameter, same electricity parameter, same ratio, same voltage. But what's different? Eyes and ears are touching to the different area of brain, and sensations in the last stage, it's a activity of the sensory cortex. When sensory cortex is active, we think that we listen sound. If visual cortex in the occipital lobe is active, we feel that we see some picture, we see some image. Clear? Okay, I pay your attention once more. Word absent. Present only reflections of the word in our brain, and our mind create a picture, create connections about words. Clear? Word, because what does it mean? Light. Light, it's an electromagnetic wave. Yes, it's electromagnetic wave, and length of wave, it's near the 300 nanometers till 400 nanometers, maybe something like this, maybe I do some mistakes, but dig it very same. And what does it mean, FM radio? FM radio, it's electromagnetic wave with length of wave near the 75 centimeters, near the 1 meters. Clear? But you register the wave which has a nanometers like a length of wave, like a light, but you don't listen FM radio. What does it mean, smartphone? What does it mean, GSM networks? GSM networks, electromagnetic wave which has a length of wave near the less than 70 centimeters, less than 17 centimeters, maybe 50 centimeters, and but you don't listen, you don't feel When somebody is speaking earphone, you don't reduce this electromagnetic wave. Why it's happy? Answer very easy. Receptors has a special parameter. Every receptors has has like internal properties registered a special area, special like diapason, special range, yes, special range of physical energy. And after that, receptors send information to the brain, and brain activates special area. And in the last stage, sensations, it's activity of the special area of brain. It's tactility, it's here, sound here, visual here, clear. Different area of brain, different modality. In general, what's different between light and sound? Light here in the occipital lobe, and sound in the temporal lobe. I hope you understand information. Our sensory feelings, it's only activity of the special area of cortex. Something which happen in the subcortical structure, it's not reflect in our consciousness, and as a result we don't know those those processes. I mean, if you know something in your consciousness, you remember these things for future. Perceptions. What does mean perceptions? The detections of the more complex properties of stimulus, including its locations and nature, involving learning. Now think about these definitions. What's different between perceptions and sensations? First, detections, complex properties of stimulus. Very happy perceptions. Perceptions happy in the CNS, in the brain, clear. Sensations happy in receptors, passing via the nerves from receptors in organs, in surface of body to the CNS. Perceptions, total, it's happy only in the CNS, clear. It's activity of the brain. And complex properties of signal. Complex property including location and nature. Nature, it's mean for what purpose you can use. It's a cognitions. You understand? Now I use a very difficult terms, cognitions. What does it mean, cognitions? Cognitions, it's a you ability. Cognitions, it's a you ability create a completely picture of the world. For example, why you visit lecture? You visit lecture because you must pass a license exam in home after 6 years. Clear? Your target, medical license. Your target, salary in clinic. It's understandable target for you. You want salary, you want do like social elevations, yes, social promotions. And how to receive license? For receive license, you must pass a license exam when you come back in India. And yes, of course, now you prepare to this exam. I repeat once more. Now you not learn because you must receive marks in university. It's a mistake. Your large target, it's an Indian exam. It's an Indian exam. Next definitions. Learning. Learning persists in these definitions. Yes. Now I'm sorry I don't touch next part. Now we discuss about first part of definitions. Nature. Nature, it's mean you use your experience about words. Clear? You use your experience about words. You understand what does it mean words around you. You do some operations. It looks like it's possible use for, and you use these operations for compare signal, for recognizing signal. It's a cognitive operations. Clear? You use your former experience and skills for recognizing image. Image, it's like a finger step of picture without means. What does mean image? It's a photo without label. If you put label, it's perceptions. Clear? Perceptions, it's a photo with label because you know where it's happy, who present in this photo, like more information. Next part of definitions, pay your attention. about unconsciousness. What's different between consciousness and unconsciousness? If you understand something, it's a consciousness. For example, if you think about me, you understand me, I am in your consciousness. Consciousness, it's a level of your responsibility. Consciousness, it's a level of your awareness. We has a special level of consciousness. But remember, if you understand something, if your responsibility for something, it's mean object in consciousness. Consciousness, it's a internal model of the external worlds. And perceptions, it's reflections of the reality. You understand what's different between model and reflections. Reflections, it's like your reflect picture. You cannot change. You has a restricted ability to the change picture in mirrors. How to change picture in mirrors? Okay, use a color mirror. Yes, maybe something change a shape of mirror possible, but this changing is not dramatically. What does it mean model? Model, it's like a computer games. In computer games, you can take special properties for every unit, for every avatars, and every unit has own life, and it's our consciousness. In consciousness, we has a model. In consciousness, our model, we can play in future. Clear. In consciousness, we can play in future. In consciousness, it's a sandbox, because we can play in future. We can living future situations without contact with reality. Clear. Unconsciousness part of perceptions. When you play in the football, when you play in the some sport games, you don't think how to do something. You see ball and you reply to the ball when ball near you. You do this automatically, but you're learning these motions. You're learning this. Yes, why? Because you has a lot of exercise. You do a lot of exercise, and you visit sport class and repeat one exercise, and after some times these motions jumping from consciousness to unconsciousness. It's like drive bicycles or drive scooters in the street. Sometimes you every time repeat drive rules, and after some times you use drive rules without understanding automatically. Why? Because knowledge from your consciousness level pushing to your unconsciousness level. You do some operations automatically. These operations in general difficult, but not so difficult. For do new difficult operations, you must do it in consciousness, because consciousness is a place in which we do difficult operations. Consciousness increase do our behavior much more difficult. Okay, now you understand. Then perceptions, it's a special problems process which recognize properties, complex properties of signal. It's a cognitive process. During perceptions, we reflect reality. During perceptions, we recognize what image we meet in the reality. In general, we like a label image. Image mean like some photo without descriptions. If you put descriptions, it's an image. Sensation and perceptions. How understands perceptions and sensations. For example, red, something red ball. It's a red ball. You don't understand for what purpose. But when you recognize in this ball apple, you understand it's an apple. It's a perceptions. You recognize nature, locations, and properties of signal. If it's an apple, you can eat it. Now we discuss about stage of the sensory processing. Sensory processing consists of some stage. Signal in the receptors has a first process which has named transductions. Transductions happen into receptors. After that, next stage it's a temporal coding. Temporal coding happen into the receptors. After that, we have the nerves which connect receptors and CNS. Signal pass into the brain, and into the brain signal coding in the systems which has name anatomical coding. Now I explain this stage more exactly, more detail. Take a more detail in picture. Okay, transductions. What does it mean, transductions? The conversions of the physical stimuli into the changes in the activity of the receptor cells of the sensory organs. Okay, what does mean transductions? When energy contact with cells and cells change electricity parameter, these cells has name a receptors. Receptors is something which generate signals which sending to the nerve systems and due influence from some stimuli. Stimul may be external, may be internal. Internal, but it's external. Why? Because changing the level of the carbon dioxide in your blood. It's an external signal for receptors. Receptors change some physical changing, reduce some physical changings into the environment around himself. Clear? For receptors, word it's a surrounding. Word it's a surrounding for receptors. Okay, what do transductions? Transductions transfer impulses into the physical energy. What physical energy now I discuss? I discuss about impulses. I discuss about electricity impulses which generate receptors, and receptors usually it's a distant part of the axon. When receptors change state, he generate impulses in these neurons and send impulses. What does it mean, impulses? Impulses, it's a ratio, it's a wave. It's a wave which has parameter length and has parameter voltage. Voltage and ratio parameter. And after that, the signal trip to the more high area of the nerve systems, clear, to the other area of nerve systems. Okay, transductions. I repeat once more, what does it mean, transductions? Transductions, it's a process which happens into the receptors and change activity of the receptor due the influence to these receptors. It's maybe change of the transductions, it's a process which change activity of the receptors due influence to the receptor specific energy. Transductions transfer one type of energy to the other type of energy. Clear? Transductions, it's a process in which change one part of energy to other part of energy. For example, electromagnetic wave like light transfer to the nerves impulses, and very important understand we like transfer all kind of energy from the surrounding to the activity of the neurons. Clear? In electricity, mechanical wave like a sound, like a vibrations, we transfer to the activity of the cells, and this process has name transduction. What type of energy we can register? Different energy we can register. Our body can register a lot type of energy. First, it's a light, it's a radiant electromagnetic wave. Ear, it's a sound, it's a mechanical energy. Vestibular systems control positions our body in the environment. It's a mechanical energy. Tongue and nose recognize a shape of molecule. You understand Smell of coffee and taste of coffee different, but why it's happy? Because taste it's one area of brain, smell it's the other area of brain. We register same molecular, but we recognize this molecular like different things, because taste and smell different. Skin and internal organs, we register mechanical energy, temperature, vibrations, pain. It's special reactions, it's a special like a special receptors which control chemical environment around himself. Muscles register stretchings, it's mechanical energy. Now you understand a lot of energy which we conversations to the neural impulses. After transductions, all kind of energy, it's impulses into the nerve systems, electromagnetic electricity impulses. Next stage, it's a temporal coding. What does mean temporal coding? Special kind of signal coding, like a special rate. I pay you attention. For example, your temperature, like very hot, it's 5 hertz. Very cold, it's 2 hertz. Clear? Different ratio for different properties of signal. Now some words about anatomical coding. What does mean anatomical coding? Anatomical coding, it's a different area of brain register different modality. What does mean modality? From an anatomical point of view, modality it's a sensory channel, but sensory channel in our brain. Everything which happy in our visual cortex into the occipital lobe, it's a picture. Everything which happy in our temporal lobe, it's a sound. Everything which we touch and feel via our skin and tongue and nose, it's a presential gyrus. It's a presential gyrus. And what does it mean signal? What does it mean some signal? Some signal, it's activity about a very small piece of the cortex. Clear? And when present activity of sensory cortex, it's reflect in our consciousness. It's reflect in our consciousness like a signal. Clear? Now you understand that word absent, present only activity of the cortex, present only activity of the cortex in our brain. This activity depend everything. Its activity depend and create words. In general, we can live without external signal. When we understand how to stimulate cortex, we inject electrodes and we create reality via computer. Computer be generate special impulses into the special area of brain, and person be feel real world around himself. Now we think about our morning coffee. What does it mean, our morning coffee? It's a coffee machine. What does it mean coffee machine for ourselves? It's a reflections of the radiant energy. Coffee machine reflect light, and we reduce this electromagnetic energy in our eyes. Our retina switch on activity and generate impulses. These impulses, electromagnetic impulses, I pay you attention. We receive radiant energy with lengths of wave like 300, 400 nanometers, and we sending this informations into the more high area of nerve systems we like impulses. And this stage, it's a perception stage. It's a transduction stage. When receptors generate a special pattern of impulses for special color, for special part of the coffee machine, it's a temporal coding. Temporal coding happy into the receptors. Next stage, it's impulses passes to the brain. For example, when we're hearing smell, it's a temporal lobe. When we see coffee machine, it's a occipital lobe. When we feel smell of coffee, it's a olfactory area of the brain. Yes, it's a it's a deep area of brain which registers the olfactory feelings. And coffee machine, it's only activity of the receptor of the neurons into the occipital, temporal, and olfactory area of brain. I hope now you understand. Reality absent. Same point of view, yes. Transductions and temporal lobes happy into the receptors, and sense organs register energy and generate impulses. Properties of impulse, generating impulses from the stimulus, it's the transductions, generating special pattern of impulses due special properties of signal, it's a temporal coding, it's happy into the receptors. After that, in the CNS, happy anatomical coding. Everything which happy into the occipital cortex, it's a visual picture. Everything which happy into the temporal lobes, it's a sound. Everything which happy in olfactory area of brain, it's a smell of coffee. I hope now you understand sensations and perception process. When we recognize coffee machine, it's a perceptions, clear. Sensations, it's only activity of the brain. When we recognize coffee machine like a coffee machine, it's a perception, because you understand nature and location of impulses. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much for your attendance. Dear colleagues, now small briefing. Now a small briefing with me. Now I put into the chat URL, and you contact with me. Okay, just a moment. Now I create a conference call. Just a moment. Okay, I create. Сохранить, скопировано. Назад. And now I send. Okay, welcome to the briefing. Welcome to the briefing. Now I am attached to briefing once more. Attached to the briefing. I ask you, attached to the briefing. No problems, dear colleagues. Attached to the briefing, this system supports lot of students, and if somebody, everybody can prepare questions for me, and now we check. No problems. Okay, now I see. Okay, students attached. I won't leave discussion with you.
You discuss now.
Just a moment. Now I be use. Just I now you be see my video. Just I now you be see my video.
Hello.
Ух ты. Oh, not so good.
Hello, hello.
Now I switch to the other video content. Okay. Just I'm sorry now I